Okay, so let's start today's class. Um, in today's lecture, I will try to wind up my the first chapter, which is required for our course from the book PRML by Christopher Bishop. In last class, I was discussing like how to see the function as a probabilistic in probabilistic terms, and we had two ways to estimate the parameter of probability. One is maximum likelihood, another is maximum a posteriori estimation map. So then I have taken an example. In that example, we have taken a coin and we try to formulate a mathematical model. Like if head comes, then the coin, which is represented by a random variable x, will be having a value 1, and if it is having a tail, then x is equals to 0. And we thought that theta is the actual probability of getting head from the coin, but we don't know theta, so we estimate theta by theta hat, right? So there are two, as I said, that there are two ways to estimate the theta hat. One is MLE and other is map. The construct was like if there are alpha 1 heads and alpha 0 tails, the total number of tosses will be n then. So there are two algorithms which we have used to estimate the theta hat. That is, one is like a number of heads upon total number of tosses. And the second algorithm, we have taken some imaginary number of heads and imaginary number of tails by taking alpha, gamma 1 and gamma 0, right? So gamma 1 is imaginary number of heads, gamma 0 is imaginary number of tails. And just clubbing the imaginary number with the original number. That is, if you ask me how many heads I have in second algorithm, so for second algorithm, the number of heads, I will be adding total number of actual heads plus the imaginary heads. It is the total number of heads divided by total number of tosses. Total number of tosses is nothing but imaginary head plus actual heads, imaginary tails plus actual tails. So these are the total number of tosses, right? So number of total heads upon total number of tosses, which is nothing but a first algorithm. But in second algorithm, we have taken some imaginary numbers. This is what we had discussed in last class. Then we said that like in second algorithm, we have an advantage. What is that advantage? That we can bring our belief in terms of numbers, right? Belief is something, some kind of thing which is hard to put it in terms of in mathematics, right? So there are certain ways to do it. So one of the way is just we are discussing intuitively that, for an example, if you feel before estimating actual probability of a coin, you think that the belief that this coin may have a 70% probability of getting head. In that case, what you do, you just take 7 as an imaginary head and 3 as an imaginary tail, and this will give you the probability of getting head is nothing but 7 by 10, right? 7 by 10. And if you are more sure, then you are taking 700 for imaginary heads and 300 for imaginary tails. This will also give you 0.7 probability of getting head, but with a larger, stronger belief. This is we had discussed, right? Then we said that second algorithm is nothing but it is a special case of first algorithm, right? And we also said that once we go for the larger number of trials, it doesn't matter whether we started for the wrong priors, right? Wrong priors means you might have started with a wrong belief that my head is having a 40% probability of getting head, but the actual was 30%. So even if you may start with a wrong belief, you will converge eventually to the right value as you keep on increasing the trials. If you as you keep on adding a data, right? So eventually you will converge to the right value, right? But the advantage of map estimation is that the condition that could have arisen because of maximum likelihood estimation, that is overfitting, may not come into the map estimation, right? For an example, if you started with a 50% probability in a map case, then you say that 5 are imaginary heads, 5 are imaginary tails. You toss a coin and it comes head. If it comes head, then MLE says that 100% probability, with 100% probability, you get a theta equals to head, right? So your probability for getting head is 1. But if you are taking a map estimate, what it will be? It will be 6 by 11, right? It will be 6 by 11, and it is nothing but more or less 0.48 or 0.46. You just find it out. So this is probability is not overfitted right now, but for maximum likelihood, it is overfitted, right? So it is just a case of example when you have imaginary, when you have taken imaginary number of heads and tails equals to 5, right? So this is we had discussed. Okay, then I said that max. It is just a second example in our in this for this course for maximum likelihood estimation. So we have said that like maximum likelihood is nothing but it's a function, and it that function what we do, we try to find out the probability of a data set given theta as a variable, right? So if my data set is 11010, then the probability of my data set keeping theta as a variable is this one, right? Is this one. In general, the probability of data set is this, right? Where alpha 1 are the number of heads and alpha 0 are the number of tails, right? So it is heads and tails, number of heads and number of tails. So it is a probability of a data set. Never forget that it's a probability of a data set given the parameters, right? But if parameter is not given, so you just keep on changing the value of a parameter and you will get different probability. If you want to plot it, then you will get some kind of a function that is a likelihood function, right? So far so good. Any confusion till this slide? You can ask me if you have any, or quickly say yes or no in your chat box so that I can proceed further. Okay then. So if there are no cases, so I want you to plot this maximum likelihood estimation also in your lab. So you will get to see like how the things keep on changing. Now, I told you that this is a function, right? This is a function, and this function will have some kind of this shape. So you want to find it out where this function will get maximized. So this is a simple problem of calculus which you might have done in your high school or 10th class, 12th class, right? So because this the variable is theta here, and this is a probability of a data given theta, you want to find it out where this curve will get maximized. For what value of theta it get maximized. Then you simply do, you take a derivative of this function with respect to theta, because theta is a variable here, right? And you put it equals to 0. Very simple case. So here I know that I have my likelihood function is nothing but probability of data given theta. But because sometimes we need to tackle that underflow situation, because probabilities when they get multiply with each other, then and they are less than 1, so it can get it will result into underflow situation. So what we do, we take a log, right, which will not affect our result. So now I take a log of likelihood and try to maximize it with respect of theta. So let's read it. So this is nothing but a likelihood function. This is nothing but a log likelihood function. I want to maximize it with respect to theta, right? And whatever theta I will get for which it is giving a maximum, return that. So it is an argument. So you return that theta, which is maximizing this function, right? Simple. And the result will be same if you take without log likelihood, without log, right? So there is no difference between the solution. So, and because log is always result in a computation efficiency, so we always maximize the log likelihood, right? So then we have to take a derivative. So this is a simple calculation. So it is a log likelihood function. You take a derivative. So first you put the parametric form, right? So parametric form I just discussed in previous slide. It is nothing but that theta number of heads, 1 minus theta, number of tails, right? And it is a log. So when you expand it is alpha 1 log theta plus alpha 0 log 1 minus theta, right? And you just do some mathematics and found out that this is the derivative which you got, right? This is a derivative which you got. You put this derivative, it equals to 0. When you put this derivative, it equals to 0. You do some manipulation and you found out that theta is nothing, but it is a fraction of total number of heads by total number of tosses, right? Simple, very simple thing. And this is like you have just derived what you have been doing till 10th. So, and you find, and this proves that what you have been doing till 10th or 12th was nothing, but it was like maximum likelihood estimation. You have just proved it, right? So if somebody asks you to estimate from the tosses, you are dividing the number of heads divided by number of tosses. It is nothing but maximum likelihood estimation. Cool. So any questions so far on this slide? As we have discussed, it is pretty much matches to our intuition. So good. If there are no questions, so I want everybody to respond actually. So because you are here, so you can just type it. There is there's nothing much costs to you to type yes and no, right? Okay, fine. So then let's go to this is maximum likelihood estimation. Now comes to the major part, which I want you to just have attention to this concept, which lay the foundation for your coming future, right? So it is like a map estimation rather than increase. So just to make a contrast, what we were maximizing in MLE, it was probability of a data given theta, right? Probability of data given theta. It is for MLE, right? It is for MLE. We were maximizing this function, and because theta is a variable, we were maximizing over theta. So this is what we have done. Now what I do here, so I will try to implement a Bayesian theorem. So I say that this is my probability of a data given theta. It is nothing but it is a you can see it as a likelihood function here, and this probability of theta is a prior here, right? What is your belief about theta, right? And you divide it by probability of data. So this is nothing but it is a Bayesian Bayes theorem. You might have learned it so many times, and we have implemented. We have just said that rather than maximizing the probability of theta, probability of data given theta, you just maximize probability of theta given data, right? So the roles are switching here. Probability of theta given data, and probability of theta given data can be expressed in terms of a Bayes theorem. So you can probability of data given theta into probability of theta upon probability of a data, right? Probability of a data. So in MLE you were maximizing this term, right? But in map you are maximizing this term, right? Understood? So now I want to maximize probability of a theta given data over what? Still my parameters are the things that I want to maximize over. So I will be maximizing over theta again, right? So I will assume that theta is a variable here and just tuning theta. So let's see here intuitively. So I will change my theta from let's say I take 0 first. I put the what is the probability of a 0, right? So let's say I have a distribution over theta also. So this is theta distribution. So it is a probability of a theta only. So it is a probability of a theta, right? So I say what is the probability of a 0, getting 0. So this is this probability. I plug this probability here, right? And once I plug the probability of a theta, then plug the value of that theta. right? So this is 0. So there are two things. The theta is 0 here, and the probability of 0 will be, let's say, 0.01, 0.12, let's say 0.12, 0.12. This is a probability, right? So here in this expression, probability of theta is 0.12. And what is the likelihood probability? Putting theta equals to 0, what is the probability of a data set? You just calculate it. So what is the probability of a data given theta? Theta is what? 0 here. 0, right? What is the theta here? 0. And what is the probability of a 0? It is 0.12, right? Then you just say what is the total probability of a data. So data can be generated by any of the theta, right? For theta, data can be generated by any of the theta. For an example, I have two tosses, right? Head and tail, head and tail. So it means my data set is 0, my data set is 1 and 0. So if I say my theta is 0.5, my theta is 0.5, what is the probability of a data set? Can you quickly tell me? What is the probability of a data set if my theta is 0.5? My data set is 0, 1, 0, let's say. So what is the so my data set is having two tosses, 1 and 0. So what is the probability of a data set together if my theta is 0.5? Anybody? 0.25, right? It is 0.25 because first getting head is 0.5, getting tail is again 0.5, getting together to see that 0.5 multiplied 0.5 is 0.25. So the probability of a data set is 0.25. So it means I can still generate my data set. I can still generate my data set if my theta is 0.25 and the probability of seeing a data set is 0.25. Sorry, it is 0.25, right? 0.25. What if my probability of theta is 0.6? Then what is the probability of a data set? If my theta is 0.6, what is the probability of a data set? Anybody? Right, it is 24, right? Because getting heads is 0.6, getting tail is then 0.4, 6 4s are 24, it's 0.24, right? So you get it now. Now if in this world, this is the last catchy point, please understand this. If in this world only two thetas are probable, only two thetas are probable, that is 0.5 and 0.6, then what is the total probability of a data set? Right? So data can be generated only by two thetas, either theta when theta is 0.5 and when theta is 0.6. So if you ask me what is the probability of seeing a data, then if they are independent even, I can add them, right? So this is like, right. So it is, I have to normalize also, but yeah, for now it you can take it. In general, it is like proportional to that. Why I'm saying I have to normalize it because theta can be infinite and then my probability of seeing data will be getting infinite. So 0.49 is not exactly answer, but intuitively you can take it right now that yes, you can have a multiple ways to see the data. Then because why I'm saying it is like, so this is probability of a data, just a probability of data and seeing theta together. If you marginalize theta over here, then you get probability of a data, right? Probability of a data. So what I am seeing, it's 0.25 and 0.24 is not actually marginalized. It is not normalized. I need to normalize it, or I can normalize it by marginalizing the theta here, right? So still, but so what you can see, you can ask me, how can I marginalize it? If you are saying in this world of, so can anybody talk to me? Like it is easy for me to understand. Anybody who feel confident that he knows that voluntarily can you unmute yourself? Yes or no? Nobody? Am I audible? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let's say Akash, you just unmute yourself because Ritvik has.
Yes, sir.
So I said that in this universe, only two thetas are possible. So
Yes,
those theta, point 0.5 and point 0.6. I have not told you with what probability theta is 0.5 is possible, right?
yes, sir.
So there are two theta values possible, but I have not told you with what probability which theta is possible. So I have to put a distribution over these two thetas. So if this theta seeing zero point 0.5 is 0.2, then what is the probability of seeing 0.6?
So 0.8.
0.8. Very good. Distribution. It's a distribution. So
Yes, sir.
as I there, yeah, you can unmute, you can mute yourself now. Because I said in this world only two thetas are possible, right? So if two thetas are possible, then there could be a distribution over thetas. Either they can be uniformly possible with 0.5 probability first theta and with 0.5 probability second theta, or they can be different distribution with 0.2 probability 0.5 is possible, with 0.8 0.6 is possible. Then if I ask you what is the probability of a data set, can quickly anybody tell me what is the probability of a whole data set now? It is a normalized version now. So it is like this. With 0.2 probability, you can see 0.5. And with 0.5 probability, the generated data will be 0.25 probability. With 0.8 probability, you can see 0.6. And with 0.6 as a theta, the probability of a data set will be 0.24. So what is the total probability of seeing a data set now? So this is really a really good application of Bayes theorem to you in every sense. So can you quickly do your maths and let me know? And it is very simple. I'm telling you, not don't get confused on any thing here. It is a very simple basic mathematics and application of your simple basic probability rules. Anybody in the class can type anything like relevant to this question. Okay, so Shantanu has said point. Okay, I think Yashdeep has said written in a well form. So it is 0.8 into 0.6. I don't think so. This is the one. So it is, yeah. Rutvik has said zero point 0.2 into point. Yeah, I think so Rutvik is more close to this answer. I have not calculated to Ritika and all like how you come with this 0.24, but Ritvik has said like 0.2 into 0.25 plus 0.8 into 0.24. So I agree with this point. Like with 20% probability, you see theta equals to 0.5. And when theta equals to 0.5, the probability of seeing a data set is 0.25, right? So the total probability, the normalized the joint probability of seeing theta 0.5 and data set is 0.2 into 0.25. Similarly, joint probability of seeing theta equals to 0.6 and data set is 0.8 multiply 0.24. So total probability is the sum of this, and it is nothing but 0.2 multiply 0.25 plus 0.8 multiply 0.24, right? So it is a normalized version. Now it will never go beyond 1, whatever you do. So I hope this simple exercise help you to understand things, though it is not required, but I just introduced you a bit brush up so that you can understand this thing, right? So now in this theta, I had a hypothetical example. I have thought of theta as only two values, which is 0.5 and 0.6, right? Which is 0.5 and 0.6, right? And I said that this is the only two possible values because there is a distribution p theta here. Because there is a distribution p theta here, this should sum up to 1. So I said that 0.5 is having only 0.2 probability, right? Only 0.2 probability. And this 0.6 theta is having 0.8 probability, right? 0.8 probability, right? Then I said that you need to multiply with the likelihood, right? Likelihood, and then normalize it with the probability of a data set. You do it for every theta. So here there are only two thetas, and the probability of data set is what? Just Ritvik has said, like, what was that? 0.2 multiply by 0.25 plus. Can anybody tell me what is that expression? Like, saw?
Plus 0.8 into 0.4.
No, that's fine. What is the final value? 0.8 into 0.24. Simplified value, I wanted to know. Right? So this is the probability of a data here. So this is the probability of data, and it will not change, right? It will not change for any theta. It will be constant as a denominator. So sometimes we say that it is evidence. So it will not change. But in denominator, in numerator, things will changing one by one. So first you take theta. First you take theta as 0.5. So you take the probability of a theta of 0.5, which is nothing but 0.2, right? 0.2. And then you say, what is the probability of likelihood? Given theta 0.5, what is the probability of a data? It is 0.25. So this is first time for you have calculated this fraction when theta is 0.5. Similarly, you calculated the second fraction when theta is 0.6. For seeing theta 0.6, the probability is 0.8, right? 0.8. And then the probability of data given theta is 0.24. 0.24 and divided by probability of a data, right? Divided by probability of a data, which will not change. So this expression will again come here. It will not change, right? Because probability of data is constant here. Now, among these two, you need to return a theta which is maximizing the expression. So can anybody tell me quickly which is the value that can be returned from these two simple example? Which is that theta that is maximizing? So what is my map estimate out of this?
The probability of data given theta equal to 0.
You need to give me a theta, right? It is a map estimate. So I have already explained everything. You need to return me a theta. So theta has having only possible two values, either 0.5 or 0.6. So which is maximizing this expression? Which theta is maximizing this expression? 0.6. Okay, very good. So you need to just compare the numerators because denominator is constant. So wherever the numerator is bigger, whether 0.25 multiply 0.2 is nothing, 0.25 multiply 0. It is 0.5, and for the second numerator is 0.24 multiply 0.8. So it is bigger obviously then. So then it is 0.6, right? Absolutely correct. Congratulations, students. You have just done one very typically known as map estimation, which most of the time students are confused with. But this is all overall the same things which you have done for very simplified example. So this is a map estimate, and for map estimate you have just done the thing, and this is the result for that map estimate is 0.6. Okay, keep in your head. Always try to map your complex solid questions on this example, and then you will try to form that bigger picture for those things. Okay, fine. Okay, now let's why they're saying that map estimate is just you can do it, because can anybody tell me why they say that map estimate is good enough if you return this value enough? So why it is so? So rather than doing this expression, they are saying you can do this also, that will give you the same result. Why? Because
the denominator is constant.
Very good, Ashutosh. Very good. So because denominator is a constant and denominator will not play, it will common for every expression. So you can ignore it for now, and you always compare numerators only, right? Fine. So in estimating, you can always ignore the denominator, but sometimes when you take a decision, you can't do that, and we will see it. So the machine learning now comes with another challenge, how to calculate the probability of a data. Because this is a very simple example, I have given you only two values, 0.5 and 0.6. And what if theta can have infinite values between 0 to 1 with some probability distribution? And let's say the probability distribution is Gaussian. So these are the other things, how to calculate the probability of data. We will see it like with the starting of analytical functions. For now, this is good. Okay. So let's introduce probability of a theta in a very professional sense, right? So I have just introduced a probability of a theta where theta can take only two values, 0.5 and 0.6. But here I am saying the probability of a theta can take, the theta can take any value between 0 to 1. And I need to define some distribution over that theta, right? So I need to define the distribution over a theta. Like I just defined that 0.5 can take I just defined a distribution that 0.5 have a probability 0.2 and 0.6 have a probability 0.8. So now I want to define a continuous distribution. For that, we are taking a beta distribution, right? So this, what this beta distribution says, it have two parameters, A and B, right? And if you say A and B with some different values, you will get the probabilities like this. So here, this distribution says, can anybody tell me what this distribution says? That the probability of seeing a theta less than 0.1 is quite high, or less than 0.3 is, or let's say it's 0.2. So probability of seeing theta less than 0.2 is very high because the density is very high in this region, right? And what this says, that the probability of seeing theta is equals to 0.5 is quite high. It means it is saying the coin is almost unbiased because it is putting a higher probability in this region where theta can take a value around 0.5, right? So it is having a probability distribution which is quite giving a quite good weight on the coins which are having a probability around 0.5. And this is the distribution which is saying that the coin is highly biased and mostly it takes the probability of getting head less than 0.2, right? So these are the distributions, and you can, as per your belief, you can change these parameters of beta distribution, and these change in parameters will change the distribution over a theta, right? So it is just a distribution. Don't get confused. If some, yeah.
Sir, yes, in the first graph, it says P of theta of AB where A is 0.1 and B is 0.3. Therefore, theta equal to 0.1, the value of probability is being more than 1. How is that possible?
Okay, so you need to just brush up your probability density with probability of mass function. Just find it out how like probability mass function is different by probability of density. So density says the integral of the distribution should be 1. And mass function says the sum of the probability should be 1. So here we are taking the integral. So it is a density function. So I just don't hit a topic here because it will just take another 15-20 minutes. But you just see what is the probability density function. So you will find it is actually possible to get any value from density. Like if you just if you just have a only one value of a probability of a value, then it can go to infinite also, right? For an example, I can only take 0.8 value. So if it can take only 0.8 value and it is a probability density function, then the height there will be infinity. So you just see it, right?
Okay.
Any other question? Any other question? So it is a probability distribution over a theta. So it is a prior probability, right? Prior probability over what? Over a variable. What is a variable? It's a theta, because I am trying to estimate the value of a theta, like what is the probability of getting head out of a toss, right? So my variable was theta, and what is the probability over theta? It's a prior distribution. I have to define it with some parametric values, some family. So I have taken a beta distribution here. Simple and short. Any confusion, you can ask me now only. And
Also, sir, the values in the last one, a equal to 3 and b equal to 3, they can be any random values, right? They just want to highlight the fact that a should be equal to b.
so if A equals to B, right? If A equals to B and A is 30 and B is 30, right? Then what will happen? Your graph will having a more peak towards the biasness, right? So it is giving priority probability to the point to the region where the coin is having an equal probability, like 0.5, right? If the value of A and B is getting fader and fader, like smaller and smaller, then it will just converge to the uniform kind of a distribution. Yeah, uniform distribution kind of thing. So you just find it, just play with these parameters and draw it in your MATLAB or Python. You will find it out how this is, right?
Okay.
Anybody else have any question? Can you quickly say yes or no for question? You can say no for no question. Okay, cool, very nice. But at least write for everybody so that I can get to know like everybody is attending here. Very nice, cool. Okay, so now the last thing that comes here is how to define this beta distribution in a parametric form. So this is a parametric form of a beta distribution, like Gaussian have a parametric form. So this is a parametric form of a beta distribution, which in figure I have write A and B. It is beta 0 and beta 1. It is just a change in notation because I have taken that figure from some book. So where I have written A and B in last slide, so it is like some beta 0 and beta 1 here. That's a change in a notation of a parameter, but the same two parameters are there, right? And if you find out like how to write it in a parametric form, like we do for Gaussian distribution, this is a parametric form where this is a beta function, right? Okay. So now, without going into too much complexity, not to forget that this is what? Can anybody tell me what is this? Quickly. What is this? What is this? MLE, very nice, Amitabh. It is MLE. And I need to multiply probability of a theta with the probability of a data given theta, right? This is what I need to do to calculate a map estimate. So can you see very beautiful analytical thing here? That the parametric form of likelihood is actually matching the parametric form of a beta. If you just assume this is a constant and ignore it, so you can see that the parametric form of a beta distribution is actually matching the parametric form of a likelihood function, right? Because we have theta here, and what will help then, how things will help here. So then we can add constants, then we can add the power here, right? Because theta is a base is same, so I can add alpha 1 with beta 1 minus 1, right? And for this base 1 minus theta, I can add alpha 0 and beta 0 minus 1. And this denominator is constant and we can keep it as is, right? So rather than, if you ignore this, as we said that because denominator is constant here, so you are actually maximizing this thing, right? And when you are maximizing this thing, what you will get, when you maximize that thing, what you will get, you put you take the derivative, put it equals to 0. When you put it equals to 0, you will get alpha 1 plus gamma 1 upon gamma means, okay, so I'm very, very sorry that I have changed the notation 3 times here. So gamma 1 is actually beta 1 here. I have just taken in last slide where that this probability of theta, that is a beta distribution. We have kept it how? We have kept it theta upon beta 1 minus 1 and 1 minus theta. 1 minus theta is beta 0 minus 1, right? So when you just take a probability and maximize it, what you will get? It is alpha 1 upon beta 1 plus alpha 1 plus beta 1 plus alpha 0 plus beta 0, right? Beta 0. So can anybody conclude for me what actually what I am trying to convey here is? Anybody in a class can try to conclude this thing, like what we have done so far. Yeah, just at least try it. What is there? So Akash, you want to try? Yes or no? At least type. Vedant, what I'm concluding here. I want to conclude here. Just a try. So we have what we have taken. We have taken a map. We just found out that when we multiply p theta into p d given theta, which is likelihood multiply prior, and we get some parametric form. When we maximize that parametric form, I got this expression, right? So it means the theta hat, the estimate of true theta was nothing but it is this. This is this expression. So what I'm trying to conclude here is, it means the prior that you always multiply with this likelihood is nothing but it is having a common belief in a head that what are the values you want, what are the weights that you want to put on the imaginary numbers. And because this beta distribution will define, like beta 1 and beta 0 will define the distribution of a beta like over a theta, right? This beta 0 and beta 1 will define this. So somewhere they are playing a role as an imaginary numbers here. And the more you take beta 0 and beta 1, so if I take as said 30-30, right? So it means it is more peaky on 0.5, right? As I said just in the last slide. So if beta 0 and beta 1 is 30-30, it means the beta distribution, what it says, it is more peaky over 0.5. If I take 300-300, it is more peaky on 0.5, right? So it is more getting peakier and peakier. If it is 3000 and 3000, it is almost like a pillar over just 0.5. It means you are just constraining your theta to take a value from 0.5 itself, nothing else. So in that case, your theta is very, very unbiased. And when you just add, so it will, that 3000 will come here directly, right? So these 3000 will come here because you are just saying it is 0.5, 0.5. It always take 0.5. And whatever the tosses come to you in terms of a experiment, you just putting them here, and this beta 0 and beta 1 is playing nothing but a imaginary tosses kind of thing here. So the more belief you put it on an unbiased or biased point, that will come here in terms of estimation, and they act like as imaginary tosses, right? This is what the intuition here is, right? Yes or no? So if you remember, I started with imaginary things and then I said that I will conclude it. So I have concluded it by saying that mathematically, when you maximize the map estimation, MAP, you are doing nothing but putting your prior beliefs in some imaginary numbers over here, and then do the things. So you are incorporating your belief in some sense. And I have just showed you how that some sense is there. So we have taken p theta in terms of a beta distribution. So for your problems, it's keep on changing. This p theta keeps on changing in parametric form. But for this binomial distribution, we found out that p theta can take as a can be taken as a beta distribution, and it will just do the things here, right? Yes or no? Can you quickly tell me whether it makes some sense or no? Please quickly tell yes or no. Yeah, okay, very good, very nice, very nice. So I just insist you to see these lectures again, so that it make more sense to you. And if you have no questions, thank you very much. You can drop your attendance.